This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. Two people whose bodies were discovered after a fire in Great Pond earlier this week have now been identified.
A spokesperson for the Maine Department of Public Safety says one victim is 35-year-old Marie Robbins, who lived in the home. The other is 38-year-old Ryan DeVisme of Aurora. The spokesperson says their deaths are considered suspicious. Firefighters were called to 23 Old Dam Way at about 5 a.m. on Monday. The investigation is ongoing, but testing by the medical examiner's office can take some time to complete. The spokesperson says authorities do not believe there is any ongoing threat to the public.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is warning water utilities across the country about an increasing number of cyber attacks. The EPA issued an alert on Monday saying they would be enforcing stricter security measures to help protect the nation's drinking water systems. Over 70% of the systems inspected in September of last year were in violation of cybersecurity requirements. Some of those violations included not changing default passwords, using a single account for all staff, and failing to cut off access to former employees. They say all of that puts a system at severe risk of being compromised. According to the EPA, these aren't just precautions. Cyber attacks have already been launched on water and wastewater systems by foreign actors such as Iran, Russia, and Chinese nationals.
On Tuesday night, the town of Stacyville suffered a tremendous loss as their fire station was significantly damaged in a fire. Now town officials say they're looking at their options as they search for ways to move forward and hopefully rebuild. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
Smoke was billowing out the windows and the bay doors, so it was fully involved.
Firefighters are trained to respond to structure fires.
We had to enter through the upstairs and ventilate and stuff.
But members of the Stacyville Fire Department say nothing could have prepared them to watch their own station go up in flames.
At that point, the smoke was extremely heavy in the heat, and of course, half of us had our gear inside, so we couldn't do nothing.
According to the department's assistant chief, fire marshals determined the fire on Tuesday night started on the wall where multiple lithium-ion batteries were charging, which the department uses for their radio communications.
This is a great loss. This building was probably built back in the 40s. It's actually like a historical building, actually.
Town officials say they are searching for a temporary place for the 5 members of the department and are relying on surrounding towns for coverage.
Now it's gone, and it's going to cost a lot of money to get it repaired.
Senator Susan Collins recently secured over $18 million in congressional funding for some rural Maine fire departments. The kind of help Cummings says they are in dire need of.
You know, we're a small town with no business, basically. So it's rural, and we're not very rich.
Town officials say they are working to secure funding, but at this time, the future of the department remains unclear. In Stacyville, I'm Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The Hampden police say they're looking for a person who broke into multiple cars at Hampden Academy. According to a Facebook post from Hampden Public Safety, the individual, who is believed to be male, was seen going through several cars parked at Hampden Academy on Saturday, May 18th. They say they have security footage, but it isn't the clearest, so they're hoping somebody will step up and offer information. You can call Hampden Police at 207-862-4000 if you have any information on that case.
This week is Maine EMS Week, a time dedicated to honoring those who serve our communities and help us in our most desperate times of need. In Augusta, a ceremony was held at the State EMS Memorial honoring those lost, remembering the past, and looking forward to the future of the service. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has more.
It is a real privilege to be here with you this morning to celebrate EMS Week and honor the extraordinary work of Maine people each and every day.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Maine EMS Week. Kevin McGinnis, the president of Friends of EMS for Maine, is also celebrating his 50th year in emergency medical services and says it's changed quite a bit over the years.
I've seen it from the days of the horizontal taxi cab era to where we actually could start to do something to save people's lives.
House Speaker Rachel Talbot Ross co-chaired the Blue Ribbon Commission to study EMS in the state, which found that emergency medical services in the state are severely underfunded with more staff needed.
6 meetings and hours of testimony and deliberations, we reached an inevitable conclusion that you all know now. Emergency medical services is an essential service in the state of Maine.
One of the bills to come out of the commission would have addressed those concerns. It was passed by both chambers, but caught up in the suite of last-minute bills, pocket vetoed by the governor. One representative who was also on the commission says they won't stop fighting for emergency medical service workers in Maine.
And that was Corey Bouchard reporting. Well, families will soon be able to apply for a new program to help feed kids home from school during the summer. The Maine Department of Health and Human Services announced the Sunbucks program this week. The effort to combat food insecurity gives eligible families a one-time benefit of $120 for each school-aged child. Sunbucks are meant to supplement the summer food service program, where kids of all ages can access food at meal sites in their communities.
1 in 5 children is food insecure in the state of Maine, which is really staggering. So this program is critical to reaching these families and providing resources when school is not in session.
There's just a real learning gap that happens over the summer if kids aren't provided that proper nutrition.
Well, Sunbucks can be used anywhere supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits are accepted, including grocery stores and farmers markets. According to DHHS, most families will receive Sunbucks automatically if they already received these or other benefits, but you can apply starting June 1st. A link to that application can be found on our website, foxbangor.com.
A reconstruction project along a section of Route 1 in Searsport has caused some disruptions to traffic, but don't let that dissuade you from visiting for Memorial Day weekend, as the coastal town has decided to halt construction through the holiday. Route 1, which goes through downtown Searsport, has been operating as a one-way road. According to a Facebook post by Gordon Contracting, the road will be completely open to both lanes of traffic from Thursday night to Tuesday morning. Locals encourage travelers to make their way to Searsport and support small businesses.
I think that's fabulous. Matter of fact, last evening we were just discussing that at home, because last summer there were a number of weekends where it became two-way, and I think it helps a lot for people wanting to travel and maybe go do some shopping or visiting, and just not feeling like, oh no, I have to go around that detour again.
According to Maine DOT's website, the detour caused by the construction should be lifted by November.
So at least a good temporary fix as we approach, kind of a heavy visitor weekend.
Yeah, and if the weather holds up, you expect a lot of people to be visiting those coastal communities as well.
Yeah, here's hoping. So let's go ahead and get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you, Beth and Peter. Our first weather is brought to you by Physical Therapy and Balance Centers, providing relief to people who are experiencing issues with pain, dizziness, or balance. Physical is spelled different because they are different. And look at this, summer weather is back. Let's go. Temperatures back in the 80s earlier today, mid-80s in some spots. Look at Waterville, and then closer to Portland, around 90. Right at the coast, a bit cooler. We were looking at upper 70s to lower 80s. Everybody saw these summer-like temperatures, that push of warmer air all the way up north. Raleigh, DC, New York, they were hovering in the 70s and 80s, even a couple of 90s. Mid part of the country, Chicago, even into Wisconsin, 70s and 80s all over. But that quickly ended. Temperatures cooled off just like that as a line of showers and thunderstorms passed by earlier today. Now things are slightly better. Overnight, though, we are continuing to cool off. Of course, decreasing clouds. Temperature-wise, though, it back into those mid-50s. Beth and Peter?
Thank you, Conrad. And coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, the second confirmed case of avian influenza in humans has the CDC raising concerns that more cases are coming.
And the owners of a longtime fixture in a local community announced they've put that business up for sale. We'll have those stories and more coming up.
Make your boating experience even better with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company. One of the best choices you can make to protect your boat and maintain your boating lifestyle. A Shoremaster boat lift makes cleaning your boat easier and provides more convenient access too. Hammond Lumber has all the accessories you need, from lighting packages and canopies to motor systems, including Shoremaster's exclusive Whisper Winch. Take your boating experience to the next level with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company.
Welcome to Through the Garden Gate in Corinna. We are a local garden center that carries a huge variety of flowers, vegetables, perennials, trees, shrubs, and roses. Our employees are gardeners themselves and offer a wealth of knowledge. We love what we do and would love to share our passion with you. We also do landscape and garden consultations, design, installation, and maintenance. Come visit us at Through the Garden Gate on Exeter Road in Corinna.
This Memorial Day, remember to honor the brave who sacrificed for our freedom. At the Furniture Gallery, we're here to help you create memorable moments at home. Add a new sofa or a new recliner, or how about a new reclining sofa? Upgrade to a better night's sleep with a new mattress and get a free adjustable base. Completely transform your bedroom with a new Von Bassett bedroom set and save 20%. Join the Furniture Gallery this Memorial Day as we honor our heroes and offer unbeatable deals. Maine family-owned and operated, the Furniture Gallery.
While politicians talked, President Trump fought for working people. He took on China and secured the border. I'm Austin Terrio, former NASCAR driver and small business owner. I'm proud to have President Trump's endorsement. Together we'll secure the border, stop Biden's electric vehicle mandate, and bring back American manufacturing. I'll fight to make sure our best days are ahead.
Endorsed by President Trump. Austin Terrio for Congress.
I'm Austin Terrio, and I approve this message.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
New concern about the bird flu. Another rare human case has been confirmed after an outbreak in dairy cattle. The big question now is, are we doing enough testing? ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
This morning, after the discovery of a second human case of bird flu linked to dairy cows, the CDC is warning more cases are likely. Authorities say a Michigan farm worker has recovered from mild symptoms.
There's still very limited information about cases of avian influenza in humans. There's been so few cases that we're still learning about where this infection spreads.
Back in March, a farm worker in Texas was diagnosed with the first human case of bird flu tied to dairy cows. Both the Texas and Michigan patients who worked with cows both reported eye infections. The CDC says it's tested only 40 people since March. The Michigan farm worker was one of those tested. But with bird flu outbreaks in cattle now reported in 9 states, in dozens of herds, experts say the infection is likely even more widespread.
We need to maintain testing, especially in our farm worker community, because that prolonged exposure to cattle does mean it's possible we may see additional incidental cases.
The CDC is warning states to keep up flu surveillance during the normally slow summer months. Still, experts say the risk of a widespread infection among humans is low.
So far, we're not seeing any signs of widespread transmission or any signs of human transmission of this virus. It's very much concentrated in livestock, with now a few cases now being observed in farmers.
The more widespread the virus becomes, the more chance it has to mutate and increase the potential risk to humans. As for right now, protective gear, including N95 masks, are available for farm workers. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
All right, and still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, Governor Mills announces the expansion of summer programs for Maine kids.
And in sports, lacrosse has been a long-growing sport in northern Maine, and last night in Brewer, that growth was on full display. We'll have that story coming up.
Machias Savings Bank is proud to partner with Coastal Women's Health.
We want to be partnered with a company that's in Maine, that understands Maine values, but is committed to staying with Maine businesses and partnering for the future.
In the near future, Coastal Women's will be expanding our space to allow us to take care of more patients in southern Maine, and we're happy to be partnering with Machias to take care of our needs in that expansion.
Machias Savings Bank, the bank of yes.
You're way shorter than I thought you'd be. There's a shirtless selfie of me by the dumbbells. Here I am. I do air drumming. I'm a competitive air drummer.
Oh, wow.
By the way, I forgot my wallet at home, so sugar mama.
Will you excuse me?
The Hyundai Tucson with advanced tech and safety features. There's joy in every journey. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 3.99% APR, or up to $2,000 bonus cash. See your local Bangor Hyundai dealer.
What do heavy rain, extreme heat, and flying lumber all have in common? They're just a few of the things we use to test our replacement windows. At Renewal by Andersen, we put our windows through the worst because your home deserves the best. Renewal by Andersen Acclaim Custom Replacement Windows. Call or visit us online today to get some incredible savings. Affordable financing, too.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same family values. For over 100 years, AAA has been providing legendary service and has helped what it values most, its members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance policy with our competitive pricing. Just like family, we offer you our support when you need it, whether it's questions about your policy or with our most trusted roadside assistance service. Visit AAA.com/insurance and find out how much you could save.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Engstrom's Auto Service in Guilford. We specialize in all foreign and domestic service and alignments.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. On Wednesday night, the Penobscot County lacrosse community flocked to Hedrick Field for Lacrosse Night in Brewer. And as our Tyler Cruz reports, the night really showed how much the sport has grown in just a few short years.
Hopefully, this game catches the eyes of people that maybe didn't pay attention to lacrosse, and maybe they'll watch a video or dive deeper into it.
On Wednesday night, athletes and fans from all around Penobscot County gathered at Brewer's Hedrick Field for the first ever Lacrosse Night in Brewer.
It's so great, and having a chance to just come out and play and do what we love is just so cool. I think it was cool taking two teams, the only teams in this area, and playing was definitely cool.
With Bangor, Brewer, Hamden, Herman, Orono, and John Bapst all represented, when just a few years ago there weren't many choices for lacrosse players in the area, really shows the meteoric rise of the sport in northern Maine.
It means a lot just to see this sport growing in the community and not only having their families here, but members of the community. I think it's grown a lot, seeing that we were able to get two teams rather than one. When I was in 8th grade, coming up to high school, there was a plan to only have one team.
It's really awesome to finally have separate teams to play, like Hamden, Brewer, Bangor. We all grew up playing over at Eastern Maine Youth Lacrosse together.
It was really not popular at all. We had kids from probably 4 grades all on one team back in Eastern Maine Youth Lacrosse. And see it now, it's grown so much, and to have all 4 of these teams and in this Penobscot County, it means a lot, to be a part of it.
A lot of that growth is thanks to a strong lacrosse community, with older athletes and leaders acting really as ambassadors for the younger generation of players.
I just think it's the members that play right now just coming out and showing what they do and that they love it, and just getting the team hyped up, and it's spreading.
I think it's just feeder programs, like the older kids stepping up and introducing the younger kids and passing down their knowledge from even high schoolers all the way down to the pre-K kids.
And everyone involved is confident a night like this is only going to do wonders for the future of lacrosse in northern Maine. In Brewer, I'm Tyler Cruz, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Let's talk hockey now. The ice is out at TD Garden until the fall as the Bruins enter yet another off-season full of question marks. The Bruins brass holding their final end-of-season press conference this week. The Bees advancing to the second round of the playoffs, one step further from last year, but losing in 6 games to the Florida Panthers. GM Don Sweeney says they're going to be aggressive in free agency, but also mentioned taking care of their own. Jeremy Swayman had an incredible postseason, and Sweeney says that contract is priority number 1.
Clearly engaged in conversation during the regular season to find a longer-term extension. We haven't gotten there yet. It's a priority now. It'll continue to be a priority until we get that across the finish line. He's a big part of our current team and the run that he went on in the playoffs and our future.
All right, and the Celtics are trying to take a 2-0 series lead over the Indiana Pacers tonight in Game 2. Just over an hour away from that on ESPN. We'll have those highlights later tonight. That's all the time we have for sports. Here's Conrad Sapinski with your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you very much, Tyler. Our main weather today is brought to you by WVII Contractors. WVII, your local expert in window and door installation, carpentry repairs, and commercial facilities management. Give them a call today. Rise with WVII. And more rain. Yes, rain is back in our forecast. Lots of showers down south of the St. Louis area. Of course, a couple of thunderstorms working their way closer to the East Coast. DC, you are going to be in on some sprinkles. We saw some showers earlier as well. A couple of thunderstorms rolled in as well. Of course, severe thunderstorm warnings earlier today, and we did see the temperatures drop just like that. We're not quite done with that rain just yet. Next several days, a couple of sprinkles will be possible, but other than that, it does look like we're going to be dry. Maybe Sunday into Monday, a little bit more of a light shower or some sprinkles will be in the area, but temperature-wise, though, not bad at all. Look at these out there earlier today. 81 degrees. That was our high temperature earlier. Upper 70s, low 80s at the coast, even a couple of mid to upper 80s just west of our area, closer to Waterville and Augusta. Our average high is around that upper 60s, so 68 degrees. That's pretty much our average high. Tomorrow, another beautiful day, summer-like weather, right? Boats, bring that out. Some grills as well. Beautiful weather by the weekend. And then a little bit cooler Monday into Tuesday, slightly below average temperatures before right back to closer to average air back by middle of next week. Now, the winds are pretty calm. We did see, of course, some gusts rolling in with those thunderstorms earlier. Now things have settled down a little bit, back to around 5 miles per hour here in town, 8 by Bar Harbor, 13 in Rockland, and then just west of that, still some pretty breezy conditions. We're going to continue to see some pretty gusty winds the next couple of days, especially by Friday. So Friday afternoon, we are looking at wind gusts once again at around 30 to 35 miles per hour all over the state. For tonight, though, a couple of showers, possibly a thunderstorm or two very early overnight. Other than that, we're going to continue to see some decreasing clouds into these overnight hours. Very mild lows. Take a look at that. We're going to start out tomorrow back in those mid-50s. Really, really mild. A light breeze once again out of the west-southwest, only at around 15 miles per hour for tomorrow. Look at this. Temperatures around 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies. A beautiful day. Bring out the grills, the boats. It's Friday, right? By tomorrow, though, not quite today. A little bit more of a breezy wind out of the west-southwest, gusting around 25, 30, even 35 miles an hour in some spots. But temperatures around 80, hey, we'll take any type of breeze, right? Our extended forecast outlook does show a beautiful day out there once again for Saturday. A little bit worse on Sundays. Overall, though, staying dry, but a couple of sprinkles will be possible. For Memorial Day, we are looking at a couple of sprinkles in the area. Other than that, we're dry. Temperatures in the 60s for Tuesday. More chances of rain. Beth and Peter?
Alrighty, Conrad, thank you.
All right, and we'll be right back with more after the break.
While politicians talked, President Trump fought for working people. He took on China and secured the border. I'm Austin Terrio, former NASCAR driver and small business owner. I'm proud to have President Trump's endorsement. Together we'll secure the border, stop Biden's electric vehicle mandate, and bring back American manufacturing. I'll fight to make sure our best days are ahead.
Endorsed by President Trump. Austin Terrio for Congress.
I'm Austin Terrio, and I approve this message.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view, featuring award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. It's a true destination dining experience. Relax and unwind in an intimate space with your loved ones, family, and friends. We are pet-friendly, so your furry friends are always welcome to join you at your table on the deck, whether it's a special occasion or any occasion. The Lucerne Inn is the perfect choice for your business or family gathering.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County?
We do!
Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a fifth-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnival.
Welcome back. The Winter Harbor 5 and 10 has been a fixture in the small coastal town for more than 50 years. Our Doug Banks shares how the store and the people who run it have stood the test of time.
It's a hidden gem to some.
Correct.
But for many, the Winter Harbor 5 and 10.
It's home.
A treasure trove of oddities.
Our motto is everything from A to Z, aspirin to zippers.
And familiarities. From the sounds of the doorbell and creaking floorboards to the welcoming owners, Peter and Sandy Drinkwater.
They would give the shirt off their back if they needed to.
Over 30 years ago, Peter and Sandy returned to their native state on vacation. Intrigued by the 5 and 10, Peter told the previous owners to let him know when they retire.
They said, well, we put it on the market 2 weeks ago.
The Drinkwaters packed their bags from Philadelphia to Winter Harbor, with Peter handling the day-to-day operations and Sandy running the books. They've kept a half-century tradition and a community staple alive.
Pete has far surpassed the first owners.
I didn't know anybody in the community, but the community accepted us really well.
But just as the various items leave the 5 and 10, so too will the Drinkwaters. A month and a half ago, the Winter Harbor 5 and 10 was put on the market.
We've had a few tire kickers, but no serious inquiries.
As the Drinkwaters sketch their final chapter, they hope Winter Harbor 5 and 10 will continue on as a reflection of its community.
Hopefully, whoever buys it will have the same attitude and friendly nature.
Sandy and Pete both treat me just fabulously.
If you stay open year-round, the town will support you, and we supported them by staying open.
In Winter Harbor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Today, Governor Mills announced the expansion of a statewide effort to get kids outside and get them thinking. Our David Ledford has more.
$6.6 million in federal funding will go towards educating thousands of kids in the Maine outdoors this summer. The Maine Outdoor Learning Initiative is a statewide effort launched by Governor Janet Mills in 2022 to help middle and high schoolers to explore Maine's natural beauty after the pandemic.
We wanted to make sure that students, number one, were engaged in meaningful learning opportunities and healthy outdoor activities, but that they would also gain understandings in a career exploration fashion.
Around 4,000 students across the state will have access to more than 100 after-school and summer programs between now and the fall. The hands-on experiences range from hiking and kayaking to farming and forestry.
It's surprising, but there are many students who live here in Maine, for example, maybe a bit inland, who have never been to the coast. There are kids who have not been exposed to Maine's rugged wilderness.
Orono High School will have a week-long day camp later this summer, thanks to the initiative, and school officials say the help is welcome.
We've had conversations all year about the struggle to bring kids out of the virtual world and into the real world. They will also be taking field trips to sites up and down the Penobscot River, some paddling in canoes. They will be doing some river sampling.
All of the programs come at no cost to families and include free transportation. To find a program in your area, visit the Maine Outdoor Learning Initiative page on the Maine Department of Education website. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night.
And join us over on Fox 22 News tonight just after this.
Tonight, destructive and deadly, the cleanup after fierce tornadoes ripped through communities. We're following the severe weather threatening millions. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast on television.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
It's sometimes to couples. The couple only lasted a short period of time. They lasted 5 years. So if you want a nice sparkling house, I suggest that you take care of it. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
I do have 4 kids, and there are things that go on, but...
It was destroyed. It was disgusting. It was as bad as I've ever seen in 20 years of renting houses.
I don't know what happened with the holes.
It's as bad as I've ever seen. They did nothing to clean it.
It's kind of comical.
They did nothing to clean it for the 5 years they lived there.
The cleaning and the things that need to be fixed, I felt like the deposit was appropriate.
I've never had to take a student to court. I've taken some of their security deposits, but for the most part, given them back. They treat the house 10 times better than these people did.
Like, ask him to come over and fix things more, so maybe I wasn't loud enough about it.
Never rent to them again, and pray for their current landlord.
I am glad that he's not our landlord.
Coming up, we have new details on the discovery of 2 bodies after a fire in Great Pond.
Plus, the Stacyville Fire Department begins picking up the pieces after a fire damages their own building.
And it's EMS week, a time to honor those who help us when we need it most. We'll have those stories and more just ahead.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. The 2 people who died following a fire in Great Pond earlier this week have now been identified.
A spokesperson for the Maine Department of Public Safety says one victim is 35-year-old Marie Robbins, who lived in the home. The other is 38-year-old Ryan DeVisme of Aurora. The spokesperson says their deaths are considered suspicious. Firefighters were called to 23 Old Dam Way at about 5 a.m. on Monday.